I'm really excited to tell you about the new Flexx Oxi-Gen Aeration Iron and Sulfur Superfilter, which really is a revolution in iron and sulfur eradication. Before you buy any system, you need to consider this. Most aeration or air injection systems, including the Aqua Systems Eradicator, the Hellenbrand Iron Curtain, the Water-Right Impression Plus, or any other air injection system using a Flexx 2510, Flexx 5600, clack valve, or canister valve are very, very problematic. The Flexx Oxi-Gen Aeration or Air Injection Superfilter changes everything about air injection. Before we can explain why the Flexx Oxi-Gen Superfilter is better, we must first explain how an air injection system works. It begins with a water softener valve, but instead of drawing in salt brine during the brine cycle of the softener regeneration, it simply sucks air in. Sounds like a really great idea, but in reality it's generally a service nightmare because the oxygen in the air forms a pocket of air just under the control valve, since oxygen is a really good oxidizer of iron and sulfur. The problem begins when the water containing iron and sulfur begins oxidizing the iron and sulfur inside the valve at the top of the tank. This creates a sticky, gummy gunk of partially oxidized iron or sulfur, which fouls the injectors, jams the piston, and wreaks havoc on the system in a very short order. If there was only a way to keep the control valve away from the air, well, now there is, because the Flexx Oxi-Gen Superfilter never has any air in contact with the control. Instead of the control being mounted on the top of the tank, the control valve is mounted on the side of the tank. The air is introduced directly into the media where the oxidation occurs. No air ever gets into the valve. It's so simple, but many do not do it the right way like we do. I know that Clack is making a deflector that goes up underneath the valve that is allegedly supposed to keep the air away from there. I just really can't see that being successful long term. In our case, with the Flexx Oxi-Gen system, the valve is mounted on the side. There is never any air in contact with it, and you're never going to build up that sludge in the valve. This is the air injection system that is not going to be a service nightmare, and it's also going to eradicate your iron and sulfur.